recommends creation of a brand new video, guys, and thanks to a speed build of a Snow White tiny home. Now, the reason why I'm doing voiceover for this is because I need to actually explain why I'm doing it, because it's actually episode 3 and I'm randomly building it. So before I do that though, to start off with, guys, this is a tiny home. So I'm basically using a new tiny living pack, and I was like, you know what? This Snow White house will look really adorable if it's actually made as a tiny home, because the Snow White cottage was already pretty small, so I was like, it makes sense to make it a tiny home, because why not? So that's my first reason, and also to try to pack a bit more obviously as well. Now, for this build, I did base it on the original cottage, but as you guys can tell from the thumbnail and whatnot, it is not accurate, and usually I'm someone that goes very accurate on these sort of things, like scarily accurate on these things, on like builds, Sims and stuff. So I like to be, you know, I like to feel like I'm literally controlling the characters and this is literally their home and stuff. But I've gone for a slightly different approach in this one. I've made it a bit more my own, a bit more unique. And my reason for this is that it's actually, like this building is actually going to have a bit of a modern inspired look to it, because I don't want to go straight copy and paste of the original, because, you know, I want it to be a bit unique. And then the reason I want it to be a bit unique is because, like, I keep on dragging this out, like, just tell them what you're doing. Basically, some of you guys might know from a poll, but I'm going to be doing a Disney Princess Legacy challenge. And now, I know, so if you guys have been on my channel for a long time, you guys know, I know you know that I have done a Disney Princess challenge in Sims already. And I even finished it, so just so you know, I actually finished the whole challenge. But yeah, I finished the whole entire challenge, and wow, it took a while, but it was a lot of fun. And I was like, you know what, seeing as people, you know, are really growing towards this challenge again, and people are picking up the challenge again, and you see, I was inspired. I was like, you know what, I've been watching like all these series of these guys playing it, and their series of doing the challenge again has been so refreshing and awesome, because I haven't seen another YouTuber that I'll follow for a long time do the challenge. Like, I think the reason I did the challenge was because nobody at the time was doing the challenge on YouTube, and now, like a few years later, suddenly everyone's doing it, so that's kind of a thing. But anyway, so as you guys know, I was just like watching a few series of everyone, you know, picking the challenge back up again, and I was like, you know what, I have been really inspired, because I realised I've had so many missed opportunities from my old series. Like, for example, in my old series, you guys might have seen some of them, but like in the early episodes, you know, I had my camera wasn't that great, my recording wasn't that great, my custom content was horrendous for the most part. Some of it was pretty good, but it was mostly horrible, and I did cheat some things as well. I didn't really do the challenge in its full properness of it. I didn't like do it properly, really. I kind of was a bit lazy, because I didn't really know, and also I didn't know what I was doing. I just like went straight into it, and I was just like, I don't know how to do this challenge, and just like dive straight in. I gotta say, the quality isn't terrible, but like, I'm a little bit embarrassed. But so I was like, you know what, I've been watching so many peeps do this challenge, and I even feeling really bad about myself because I have not put my full effort into this challenge, and I love this challenge so much. And seeing everyone else has, you know, jumped back on the train again, I was like, you know what, I want to have another go at the Disney Princess Legacy challenge. But this time, which kind of, I will get back to the point where this is a slightly modern themed house, which is now, it's because I'm not going to do the exact same challenge again, because that's kind of boring, really, to be honest. So I'm not doing that. Instead, I am doing like the Disney Princess Legacy challenge, but I'm doing it more of the classic version. So instead of doing it copy and paste, which I tried to do in the original challenge, like literally everything exactly right to try and make everything work. This time I'm going to take the more modern approach, the approach that most YouTubers tend to take on this challenge, where it's like the classic house, but like modern clothing, modern Sims they meet, you know. It's basically modernized the whole process. Now, I'm going to admit this now, the house isn't completely modern, because I did take too much inspiration from the original house in the end. I did try, like, it's difficult, okay? I had like a picture of like a classic cottage that you would see in the 2000s now, or the 2020s I guess now, and I had a picture of the original cottage from the film, well, Snow White's cottage from the film. And so basically, I think I spent too much time looking at Snow White's cottage rather than the one I meant to be kind of basing Snow White's cottage on. But, you know, I still got the aesthetic right, because I mean, if I was doing it directly the same from Snow White's cottage, if I was doing the exact same cottage, it would have a second floor, for example. That would be a thing. The house would be a lot bigger, so I wouldn't be doing it as a tiny living room for sure. It would be slightly bigger, I know that. That's how big the house is. And also just like everything outside will be completely accurate, because all the stuff outside on this build is like all my own imagination, just like going, hey, why don't I put a little chair here, a little stump over here. Well, actually, them two things were actually in the photo I was looking of the cottage, but you get what I mean. I did take my own liberties with it. I changed it up a bit because, you know, I want to give it its own sort of spin on it, a bit more modern stuff on it, you know, because I'm going to be having a modern day looking Snow White, so I want to have the house look not too crazy. But yeah, I was using a lot of debug items for this because I really wanted it to feel quite nature-like. I wanted it to feel like a sort of campground sort of based house, like a little cottage in the woods sort of thing. Really cute sort of thing like that. Really, as hard I was to go for something really cutesy, unique and stuff. I was quite proud of this build actually, because I just loved the water at the side, because I was like putting these layers of rocks in it, and it's just like, oh my god, this looks so good. And I've got like a cauldron as well. Like, I wouldn't be able to do this build without Realm of Magic or the Outdoor Retreat pack, because them two I was using so much, because they both have really nice aesthetics. Oh, and also Single for Your University was also very heavily involved too, and also the debug items. So I was like, whoa, if I would not be able to do this build without these packs at all, literally. But yeah, something really cool about Outdoor Retreat is that they have like these cool little sort of pathways, and these wooden gate pathway things, wooden fences that go against all the pathways. But you can actually, if you open to debug it, you can actually use them to like be the entrance of the house, which is kind of cool. Now, as for the area where I've built the house, I have built it in the Glimmerbrook. I think it's called Glimmerbrook anyway, which is the Realm of Magic realm. Because I was looking at all the maps and I was like, which one feels more Snow White to me? I was going to go for the classic Willow Creek. I was going to go for there, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I went to there and Windenburg a lot in the original series anyway, and also the whole area feels kind of more Tiana-like, so I feel like I will save that area for her when I get onto her in this challenge. But yeah, for Snow White I went to Glimmerbrook. There's lots of nice aesthetics around here, and it's really pretty and magical, and witches, cauldrons and stuff kind of fit in this area, and Snow White's got all of that sort of magicalness going on as well, and she's a princess, so it just all kind of works out really, doesn't it, guys? And yeah, I was trying to find out different like little Easter eggs I could put in this place, because obviously it's not directly accurate, so obviously I wanted to add something, like some specific things so you guys will know exactly what it's inspired by. So even though these aren't in the original cottage photo, well, even though these aren't from the image from the film of the cottage, you know, like from the film, I'm not sure where I'm going with this. even though the things like the wishing well and the river down the side, even though these weren't from the film, I wanted to put these in front of my cottage because, like I said, it's my cottage in this version. This version's like a completely unique modern version of the original Snow White cottage. So I'm like, you know what? If it's gonna be different, I might as well go for it. I mean, to be fair, I actually quite enjoyed this build because it didn't have to be completely accurate. It means I didn't have to painstakingly stare at a photo or like 10 clips for like 20 hours. I still love that with the Elena of Avalor build to go over my creative sim of her, which I will be uploading soon because I haven't actually, here's a funny thing, I haven't actually finished building her castle yet. I've done the whole outside so I could finish her creative sim video. But I have not done the inside because honestly the inside will take me so long and it's the effort guys, so I thought I'd just build in the middle between finishing that off because I'm like, you know what, I want to really get this challenge on the go, so I'm like just gonna leave it be for a few days, but I will be uploaded soon then. I just need to actually do the inside of it, but surprisingly the inside will take a while. See what though, this is a quite like I feel like this challenge is even harder for me than this round because, like I said, I've gone for a tiny home, not just a standard home with 2 floors. I've decided to go for an 8-people house inside a small cottage. You know what, this build would not work. Like, I wouldn't be able to fit in all the potential kids we're going to be having in this challenge, because I know for sure you have to have 8 kids in the Snow White part of the challenge. So obviously I was trying to plan for that when I was building, so I wanted to make sure that I would have room for all the beds with their children. But yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do all that if we didn't have the Murphy beds from Tiny Living, because the Murphy beds are literally lifesavers. Like, literally, my kids can share the same bed, and the bed can still be a sofa as well at the same time. I think that's kind of the perfect thing I need right now. So else I just would not have enough room. So it's a lifesaver. And the good thing is because we have the Murphy bed for the beds, it means I can't like run out of room super easily in the whole bed area over there. So yeah, it means I've got more space for the kitchen, more space for other things really, and it's just like, it's quite nice. I quite like the feel to this place. It's quite like homey, which is quite nice, you know. You know, you have like this whole like kitchen area. It took me a while to figure out how to do the kitchen area, because I wanted to do it like long ways, but then I decided to like I was going to do it like, as you guys can see now, it's like a big open plan kitchen. But then you see, I realised doing that it would mean like I wouldn't have any space for a bathroom or Snow White's bed or basically anything else. So I basically had to redesign that whole area. So literally, I turned around and I was like, oh geez, there's like no space for anything now. So I had to reconfigure the whole room completely. I was going to like do a little bar for them to all sit around, because everyone in these sort of challenges tends to do that, so there's not enough space for a table. But to be fair, this is bigger than like a micro home, so it was a bit easier for to fit a table in for this. But yeah, I had like the table just looked so cute, and also there's so many Sims that would need to sit around the area anyways. I just wouldn't be able to fit them all around the bar, because it's gonna be like 9 people in total, or like 8 or 9. And I was like, well, they're not going to all fit around a few squares, are they, with a few stalls? So I was like, you know what, let's build the Snow White aesthetic and give them a nice wooden table with some chairs and stuff. I'll tell you what this cottage feels like. It feels a bit like a summer lodge in a way, like a little holiday home lodge thing. It feels a bit like that, which is kind of adorable. So yeah, to get prepared for the challenge, I made the room with all the toddler beds in. Right, after recording the video, I realised, you guys will see later on, but like the kids at the front I don't think can actually get to their bed, so I might have to change it up like in the first episode or something when they properly get stuck in. They still might be able to, we just haven't tested it out yet, but I don't think they can, because it's the whole living room area, and I don't think they can actually because you see, you guys can see now actually, so notice there's the chair area over there, and there's the bed there. I don't think they can actually fit down that gap, I'm not sure. Because I just realised how wide the chair is. Like that would work. This would work fine with if it wasn't if the chair didn't stick out. And also when the bed gets pulled out, can the toddlers get to the bed? The ones in the front row. Well, it's not really a big deal because I can just rotate them. The ones in the front row anyways, so it's not too big of a deal really. It's just I realised when I recorded, I was like, hang on, I don't think I can actually get into bed. So yeah, I might actually reconfigure this after the video, to be honest, because or else I'm going to forget, and I just need to make sure I can actually get into bed. But yeah, I think that my idea of doing the toddler beds first definitely helped out a whole bunch, or else this house would not even work at all. But I quite like the living area, because it's like right next to all the kids are, which is quite cute. There's a nice open plan arch, which is kind of adorable. Snow White has a little apple clock and her little bed over there. We've got a desk when the children get older. I have to think of a lot of things. We've got the toy chest, we've got some photos around here, we've got teddies, we've got guitars and everything. Then obviously the living room area ties in with the children's one, because the bed can obviously be chairs and a bed at the same time, and obviously I need that double bed when the kids are older, so I have got that. But yeah, the whole aesthetic of this house feels so good. And it's cool as well because the TV units can actually act as a radio as well, and a bookcase, so that works perfectly for this build as well. It's got a 3-in-1 sort of thing going on. Now, so that was all the main part of the inside done. I think I'll change a few bits again in a little while in the video, but I think the majority of it's done. So after that, I decided to do all of the outside bits, like all the little river bits. So I was like, you know what? We need some water out here. We need like a little lake going on. And I was just going to stick with like a little green border around the blue, but then I was like, you know what? It's missing something. And I was like, you know what it needs? It needs some rocks for aesthetic. So I was like, right, let's go into debug and let's just grab tons of things. There was these really cool pots from Outdoor Retreat, which looked really cool, looked quite Snow White like, but I just couldn't fit them in. And I also couldn't fit in a fireplace. I'm really upset about that because I really wanted a fireplace in this house, but there was just not space. So I was like, I'm just gonna have to sadly ignore the fireplace. Just sad. I really like this cool outdoor area because there's like a little bit where you can like sit around the campfire and roast some marshmallows. I felt like quite outdoorsy, quite, like I said, this feels more like a holiday home than like an actual home, but I'm gonna go for it. This tree under the water acted so nicely as like a base, so I can do all the rocks around it. And these rocks worked so well, can I just say? Especially these nice big ones, kind of gave it a nice aesthetic. Like, look at that! It looks so realistic, and it's like, and it makes it look like the river kind of goes through the rock and then comes out the other side, which is so cool. And also you've got all the flowers around all the rocks and stuff to give it a nice sort of nature feel. See, I was going to go for straight up modern, then I ended up leaning more towards the original having to film in the end, so I was like, hey, look, all these nature bits I want to add on. It kind of feels like just my own interpretation of the original house from the film, to be honest, rather than like a legitimate modern day Snow White one. I basically just then sorted all the lighting because I was like, you know what, this place is too dark at night, like you can't see zilch. And I also moved the wishing well, not sure I mentioned this, I moved the wishing well near the river because this wasn't working at the front. I also had to change around this whole front area because here's the thing, I was testing the house out with like a sim to make sure everything would work. Like, you guys can see the sim now. Just a random little sim. And like, she couldn't get to the door for some reason. So, I wasn't sure why. And I also couldn't click go here with the fences. So I'm not sure if the fences, the debug fences were like messing with it or something. But from one direction, she could walk through, but when I flipped the other way, she couldn't. So I had to flip the fences around a bit, and then she could walk through. So I was like, okay. So let's do the entrance coming from the other side, and just move the cool little log on that side. I also have to extend the front porch as well, and the door. This sim was a mess. She was messing with me. So yeah, she basically didn't want the door in the position where I had it. She wanted the door where the mirror was. So I had to move my door to the right and then move the mirror to the left so she could walk through the door. And I was like, see, as we've got a super long porch now, we might as well put like little firewood at the front and stuff that we can use for our non-existent. No, wait, we can use the firewood still. We can use it for our outdoor fire. We've got an outdoor fire instead of an indoor fire, guys. And then the problem is, because I had to move the door to the right, the whole roof configuration was messed up. So I had to sort all that out. It took a lot of time. I had to change the roof type because the other roof type wasn't working with what I wanted to do. It's like every time I moved it, it was a mess, okay? It was a mess. So I had to sort out all this, which was kind of an issue, but it worked in the end. And I like the roof I ended up going for. It's like, I think it's a roof from Island Living, which kind of makes sense because it's kind of one of the thatched. Is it called a thatched roof? It's one of the thatched roofs from that pack. And I gotta say as well, I'll tell you another reason why my Snow White sort of whole bit in the original challenge didn't go too well, because I made the challenge just after the community pack was released. That's how long ago I started in my original challenge, like literally just after the third Sims 4 pack was ever released. And I've got so many more. I've got game packs, I've got all the expansion packs, so it's just so much more helpful for building builds like this, which are quite unique, and you need a lot more packs for these sort of builds. Anyway, so I think I'm pretty much done now, guys. So I'm going to show you guys my whole final complete sort of look. This is like what it's going to look like at night, and it looks kind of amazing and beautiful. This is going to be the toddler room. Obviously going to change that slightly outside the video. This is the living room. This is kind of like the activity space. This is the bathroom. There's enough space for everyone in here, so it's kind of amazing, not too tiny. We've got cool cauldrons that fits in with the Snow White era. Then we've got the beautiful river area, and all the rocks out the side and the wishing well. And there you go. That's the end of today's video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it and see you all soon. Bye!